spring always is the longest. So there we go. We turn that up there. And I know people are getting back into the rhythm of things. We've been busy still, nonetheless, during the break between the semesters. But it's good to get back into the swing of practice with things, everybody. So, of course, a couple of things as we get in here. Welcome in for those who are joining in live. Those who are joining in on the recordings, because these will be posted, of course, to our playlists that is available to those who have signed up for the classes. We have a compendium, and it's available for those who are also the all ranks in-person classes. So we treat these classes as the ability for people to come train with us to do supplemental to their to the in-person. But if you're coming here just for Zoom too, that's great because we found over the past couple of years that the Zoom has been a great option for people who are out of states or out of away from Berkeley. We even had people join from Japan for uh, which is so exciting and awesome. So we're very happy to be able to offer this through UC Berkeley. Very excited, as I said, and also you might see my emails float around. My name is Mason Tong. I am the instructor for Tai Chi under our head instructor for the Chinese martial arts, Wushu and Tai Chi, Sifu Brian Fong, who's here as well. So good morning, Sifu. Yep,
Morning.
yep,
Good to see
and
you.
yeah, yeah, beginning of the spring semester, Sifu. So the last opening remarks I'll say before I hand it off to Sifu is that as we go through these practices, feel free to raise any questions you like anytime. The chat feature is open for people, so people can post questions there. You can also email me, but of course, you can choose to have your camera on or off based upon your comfortability. It's always nice, as I will say, because we can see your smiling faces, but also Sifu can give some pointers as we go. And knowing that the two-dimensional space is a little hard to work with at times, you will see me often change my camera around so that you can see me from like a different angle, like up here. So, and my mirror will be over there, of course, to show different sides. Now, with that being said, yes, happy Lunar New Year's coming up too as well. So, Sifu, I'll hand it to you before we begin.
Sure. Again, welcome everyone to uh, this semester. Um, and of course, this class is about Tai Chi and internal work. Now, just a brief discussion on internal work. So, there are many ways to do Chinese martial arts as well as, uh, how should I say, uh, different ways of meditation and breathing. Tai Chi offers you something unique. Originally, of course, it was a martial art during the Qing Dynasty, but during the Republican era, it became a way of health. Now, of course, there are many ways to teach Tai Chi. The most popular way is the way China has been promoting it, which is through teaching forms. So, of course, the Yang 24 form, the 32 sword, these are the most popular. There are millions of people who practice that throughout the world. However, and this is kind of an interesting however, it is not Tai Chi. They were created for the purpose of competition. And I've had big arguments with instructors in China, but it is very true. 1956, it was created, those forms were created to popularize Tai Chi, but also make it eventually become an Olympic sport. So that's why those forms are required for competition. And then later on, they created the 42, 48, all those other forms. They're all for the purpose of competition, not necessarily for developing Tai Chi. So Tai Chi does have several ways of developing. One is what I call the outside in approach, which means teaching you a form, and then eventually, hopefully, you learn what you're doing and it becomes Tai Chi. The other way, which is the way originally was taught, is going from the inside out, meaning you learn to harness and move your chi. You use your chi to assist yourself in applying your technique. So that is actually the way that Tai Chi was originally taught. And so the generation before me, can do amazing things that none of us in this generation can do. And it's because we were not trained the way they were. So, one of the purposes of this class is to kind of go back and learn some of that training. So, um, a lot of what I will ask you to do is to actually feel what you are doing. Without feeling what you're doing and getting in touch with your internal energy or your chi, Tai Chi cannot do what it can do at its highest level. And that's kind of what we're trying to achieve. Even though we're not specifically interested in using it for combat, the energy training of Tai Chi, however, can be of great benefit to one's health. So just as kind of an aside, Dr. Sunny Pat, who is one of my disciples, we've been using Tai Chi and massage to try and see if we can properly use massage in a way that it can actually improve your health. And so we've been using it to work on my knee, and it's showing very interesting results. So we're beginning to explore other uses for Tai Chi other than just for the purpose of combat. So those are some of the things that are coming in the future. Also, there's lots of new science to try and explain how Tai Chi works, and I will be talking about that periodically. Okay, so in any case, good to see all of you. So we're going to get started with the first part of the class, and please remember the class is divided into three parts. First part is Chan Su Gong, and a lot of people kind of say, "Oh, well, those are just warm-up stretching exercise." Yes and no. Chan Su Gong was codified in Chen Village to help you get and prepare your body to do Tai Chi properly. And so this is important to understand. Without the proper preparation, just trying to do Tai Chi will not be as effective. So to do Tai Chi, you need what? Flexibility, range of motion, and you need to what? Learn to coordinate your breath, your movement. And you need to learn to focus your mind. So Chan Su Gong gets you ready for that. Next part we'll be doing after that will be Tai Chi Qigong to learn how to breathe properly, feel your energy, and the last part, which is will be some form practice of some sort. Okay. So anyway, let me get started, and then we'll talk more about it as we go. All right, Mason, let's get started with some Chan Su Gong.
Excellent. All right. So let's go ahead and move into the section, as Steve said. No, nothing to add on to there other than if you have any needs or if you feel any pain or tension during exercises, just pause or let us know. And also make sure you're hydrated, so have something to drink nearby. Okay, so standing in your right where you are, or if you're seated in a chair, that's okay. A lot of these exercises can be done while seated, but you can have your feet, knees, and shoulders all aligned, and you're standing in your Zhongding standing position. Okay, your lower lumbar is straight, tailbone tucked in, concave, neck, chin, but you feel the top of your head, which we call the Bai Hui, is straight up. So you're nice and relaxed, like you're like hanging as if someone's suspending you from a string from the top of your head. All the limbs are relaxed. First, we're going to loosen up our joints, but also at the same time release any tension. So there's a fine line between being too relaxed or too stiff. We want to find that nice medium. So firstly, bring your arms up, relax the arms, let them swing down. Come up and down, up and down. As we get into our Chan Gong exercises, which are spiraling Qigong, we want to loosen up any tension, as I said. These are Feng Gong exercises. There are a lot more than just what I'm going to do here, but these ones we're going to start with to prep. And if you're curious about how many repetitions I'm doing, I'm actually going to leave that up to you. I will do multiples of three, like 3, 6, 9, or 12. But I won't call them out necessarily because everybody is going at different paces. Everybody has a different history for their body, different capabilities, flexibility, strength, what have you. So, for the most part, I'm just going to target for myself, usually around 9 to repetitions or so, and I'll count out the last 3 so that we can move on to the next section. For example, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to have one arm forwards, one arm back, and we're going to alternate. For those who are returning again, welcome back. Always good to see you. Hello, hello. And for those who are new, welcome in. And we got a couple of new people, so this is awesome I know of, as well as people who are going to be joining us in recordings. So Um, but relax. One arm's going forwards, one arm's going back. It's definitely you're walking, but you're just turning just with the smallest amount of movement inside your waist. More on that in a second. For now, three, two, and one. Good. Now we're going to keep doing a similar movement, but we're going to have our hands out to the sides. And like I just said, your waist to the inside of it. Think of your waist and your hips like a box or a ball and a socket. So there's a socket. These are your hips. And the ball is your waist. And it turns inside. So keeping your hips, knees, and feet forwards, turn just that ball, that socket, and use your waist as it drops down to let the arm swing this time to the corners of the room. If you can go to the walls, great. You don't have to be that flexible because a lot of people say, which direction do I go? Actually, the direction doesn't really matter that much. So whether I'm going like here or if I'm going here in front, either one's fine. Your body's going to dictate which one's comfortable. So the main thing is that your hands go to the sides. So side to side, side to side. So same thing, kind of like you're walking, but this time just gently let the hands go to the sides. Whether it's like the wall or the corner, doesn't matter too much based on your flexibility. But just keep your knees and your hips forwards because you don't want to distort your knees. Over time, doing distortions of your knees can hurt your knees. So again, walk in that fine line, literally and figuratively. Okay, three and two and one. Very good. Same movement, but this time we're going to tap a couple of meridian points to help wake up the body, get some chi going. You're going to tap the shoulder socket and the shoulder blade if you can reach it, or this is the back. That's fine. But it's going to happen. I'm going to drop the arms, tap, and tap. See that? I'm going to do it from the front. So same movement, but now tapping along those acupuncture points. If you've anybody here has done acupuncture, you know that these are massage points. These are acupuncture points too. You have a lot of meridian lines that go through from your uh, torso out through the arms, actually, and correspondingly down to organs in your body. So a bunch of them run through your shoulders. So it's good to get those nice and massaged. Whether it's the start of the day or the end of the day, or if you're having a particularly difficult day, these are good to do. So three and two and one. Very good. Last of those movements, we're going to tap two important points that we'll call it in the rest of the class. 3 points below the belly button. We call this the Dantian center. Medicine, they will call that the Dantian. In Chinese martial arts, the Dantian is a region. It's your lower abdomen combined with where your femurs connect to your pelvic bone. And the Ming Men, which is where your spine connects to your pelvic bone in the back here. So these are opposite points. These also are super important, good for massage, good for acupuncture, but also they're along the direct lines of your digestion, and also the other ones you're along your lines for your circulation because your spine is a major conduit for a bunch of your veins and arteries. So relax and just again just gently turn tap those 2 points with a gentle fist. So don't hit yourself that hard, but it's just enough to do a slow self massage in the process. Very gentle. Tap 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 and tap. And again, these exercises will, yes, be a part warm up, but they're also part of your principles. If you walk away from the semester, and I'll say this at the start of day one, with just remembering just how to do these, that's good enough for your health. That's actually pretty good. So don't worry. But we got a lot of good stuff to cover. So let's go ahead and do three and two and one. Good. Relax, Hong Song. And one of my favorite parts is to always breathe and recycle fresh chi in. So let your hands come up to the height of above your head. Your hands are going to go down the center line of your body, like you're pushing something down in front of you as you breathe out. You're breathing in. You're drawing fresh energy in from around you, or fresh chi, leading it down from then that Bai Hui point, that crown of the head, down your Ren Mai into your triple burners, or called your Song Tao. And we like to do 3 of them. For the third one, if you'd like to, you can follow me. I'm going to let my hands trail down my body, pointing my chi down through the channels and bend at my waist. If possible. If you can't, don't worry. But just get your hips and your knees and ankles underneath you. Slowly rise, pushing up from the ground using your legs, not your back. It should already feel nice and good after that. But we're going to go ahead and now start targeting the parts of the body, starting with the upper head, working right down to the feet. Chansugong, we're going to target, again, the neck here and the head. But the important thing in this exercise, you're going to let your head drop, let it go to the side, come up to eye level. eye level is enough, and go across. You don't want to go higher than that because you don't, again, you get grind your cranial stem. If you bring your head up, you might not feel it yet, but in time that can wear out your cranial stem, where of course your skull connects to your spine. So just letting your head drop, relax, come to eye level, and go across is enough for this. So some of you, of course, it's just the beginning of the day, the morning. It might feel nice to just kind of stretch out a little bit, let the joints move, which is good. But again, as I said, another time of day which is good to do these is the end of the day when you need to release any tension and just get yourself ready for sleep. Those are great times to practice Tai Chi and Qigong. Good. Let's do three. I'm going to count us down. Two and one. Good. I'm now going to go the opposite direction because of these exercises. You will see us do both sides. We want to make sure that you are symmetrical in your training as much as possible. So again, come up to eye level, go across and back down. There are all these channels, your arteries, you have veins, you have all these nerves that go through everything in your body, connects through your neck. It's super important. It's like the major cables that your body runs through to your brain, of course. So we want to make sure that's nice and healthy, supple, and able to move freely. Good. I'm going to count down three. And again, your eyes can be open, let your orbs close, but your eyes open is nice because your chi can go through it. So two, one last one. Good. Speaking of your eyes, you're going to look to your right, and I'm going to shift over. I mentioned it briefly. Your right hip. They call this the quad. It's splitting the dantian in half. It's where your femur connects to your pelvic bone. So same thing, socket, ball. And you're going to shift, and you're going to turn, look over the shoulder, and let your eyes go all the way to the horizon, letting your yi, your intention, which draws your chi, out. And then shift over the center, look over the left shoulder, shift over the left quad, look to the left side. And then you can stretch along this cabling that goes through your neck here. It's a nice stretch of this, but also helps you move in your mass. And the shifting also, if you include that, is good because you begin waking up the torso as well. Gong is really good from a martial standpoint, but it's also good from a health standpoint if you add in a couple of different aspects to incorporate more of the body. Uh, there's a lot of value and riches that, depending on how you train, which we hope to show you this semester if you're new, or to go over again if you're returning, because you can always keep working on this to the whole entirety of your life. Okay? You can only ever stand to improve and get better. Good. Let's do three and two and one more. So one more meaning one set. This is left and right side component. All right, very good. Now I mentioned that we didn't want to grind the spinal stem by like turning your head around too much. Well, next one we're going to do is we're going to go up and down. Because you're moving on only one plane of axis, where you moving up and down, it is not likely that you're going to hurt yourself, which is what we want for this one. So the last of the head and the neck will do. You relax the chin, and then look up and elongate what we call this is again that renmai, and then relax. Now, for those who've been with us already a long time, and if you're a beginner, you can still try this out, incorporating the body with it. I would hollow the chest, but this is the Tanjong, your heart meridian point. You hollow the chest, bend the knees, but still keeping the back and spine straight. You just open up the body and feel yourself look up at the same time. So you can incorporate that. If it's too hard to do, just work on the head and the neck. But if you can do it this way too, where the whole body sinks, whole body opens up and rises. And if you do that, you feel the chest expand, your heart meridian points is filling up with fresh chi. It's expressing any tension, like letting it out through the hands. And hopefully, as you relax, you dissipate it away. So, again, up and down. Relax. So, up, open, and then close. And even if you're doing just the head and neck, you still open and close. Just open here and close as you come back down. So, varying degrees. and we'll talk about this, give those a lot of people the choice of what you're trying to target, but we'll recommend certain approaches as we go along. But for now, relax, breathe normally. So breathe normally. We'll talk about it in a second. But let's go 3 and 2 and 1. Very good. And of course, Feng Song, we'll do these between each section we go through. And so clear the center line. Let all that tension out. Any stale excess chi, release it and draw fresh chi in. But as we say, in this class, any stressors or tension you got, we're going to check that at the door. We're going to allow you to get some fresh energy work, relaxation, so that you can have a better mindset, a better heart, open to dealing with those as we leave from the session here. So, very glad to have you all here. We're now going to move into our heart meridian points, the chest, shoulders, upper body, essentially. And I'm going to have my hand back, however, at my lower dantian. So, as what I'm going to do is that heart meridian point that I talked about is going to open up. And my shoulder blades are going to flex back. I want you to see how my hands are doing this. They flex back. You see my shoulders here rotate backwards. They don't really rise up. They more go out, if anything. And they relax, come down. Up, open up the shoulder blades, and relax, come down. From the side, arms are moving around this way. For those who are curious, I guess I do have 3 cameras, as I mentioned. So keep going, but I'll show you. So you can see me a little closer. Because I know looking at a two-dimensional camera space or your screen is kind of limiting. So that's why I have these different camera views here you can see. So I open up. You see that? So it doesn't, the shoulders don't really go, they don't hike up. They go out. You see how my jacket moves? Okay, got it? So keep going. Let me go back to the my D&D stuff. I'm a big nerd, but that's okay. You enjoy life, you know? If you ever, oh, by the way, if you ever have questions, stick around to the end of the call or just want to chill with us and relax, you can. As you can tell, my room is filled with a bunch of fun stuff. I'm big into D&D and Star Wars, aside from just martial arts. So if you're kind of a geek like me, you're in good company. Don't worry. All right. 3, and 2, and 1 more. Okay, now we're going to reverse, go forwards. The chest is going to close. Your shoulders rotate forwards, and you come down. Down. And down. So again, this is again, like we said, we want to be symmetrical, allowing the joints to move and all the channels and all the connectors, the tendons and ligaments. We want to make sure that those are nice and happy because again, physically, those are the points of which your chi flows. Okay. We'll talk about different things that we'll use terminology that comes from Chinese medicine, like fascia, for example. Fascia, however, is better understood nowadays because we're starting to understand what it is. It's a lot of the connectors and the webs of filament that's actually between underneath your skin that goes throughout your entire body. So we'll talk about those. If you're not sure what those are, ask questions. We're always happy to help. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Now, speaking of fascia, this one, I want to have you focus less on the elbows. Yes, we're going to move the elbows, but remember, you're just going to move it from the center. So your fascia, if you think about it, it's like a web that goes through the entirety of the body, kind of where again, your skin, which is the biggest organ in your body, which we know from Western science, you're going to close the body. So again, like the earlier exercises, it's heart rate point closes. I bend the knee slightly. As I straighten the knees, I feel something kind of bubbling up, pushing my arms out. And on one hand, traditional lists would say, oh, you just open up and strike with your elbows. Not really. For us, we're going to open up and release through the elbows. So you notice what I'm doing with my hands here. My hands are open, bend, close. My hands are closed. I come up, and they're making a fist like open up. I feel a little bit of tension, in my shoulders and my elbows, but then I release it. I relax my hands. And this is not a hand exercise per se, but remember what I said about fascia? Your fascia, as you straighten up, is pushing the rest of your arms out. The connectors and all that web of your of connections beneath you through your feet all the way to your elbows pushes the elbows out. But then you have to relax because it's like you're bunching up some like fabric, and it's all bunched up, and you release it out, and any creases or folds that are in your fascia network, you want to just let it go because we do know this is that tension builds up physically in your body. I mean, why do you go get like chiropractor work or like massages, even if you're not into Chinese medicine? It's because your body retains stressors. We know this. And Western medicine doesn't really have a good way of explaining it. Chinese medicine does. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I want to make that very clear on day one. But remember, your body has many ways that it's been studied throughout the ages, whether it's Western or Eastern sciences. Western sciences has its merits, so does Eastern. And we want to try to, in this class, without having to skirt into being a medical class, help you see where it's pertinent to your health. Good. So for now, what we're doing is we'll do three more here. So three, relax. Remember to breathe normally. Two, and one more. So close the chest, open, express through the elbows. Now, we're going to reverse, close the chest, rotate the wrist in front of you, and drop, lowering the body. Using the same idea. And those who've been with us several semesters or years even might feel something, which is great. You should. If you don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. But for those who've been with us for a little bit longer, you might feel not just the lowering of the body, like your mass, which is good, but you might feel that warmth, something almost like tensed and then release through your arms, and that kind of echoes through the joints of your elbows to the shoulders to maybe even your stomach. If you do, wonderful. You're feeling that echo, that ripple effect through your fascia, which is great. If you don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. That comes in time. And remember, your body is. That's my Amazon thing. The If you don't feel it, don't worry. But if you do, again, that's what we're trying to do. We're helping smooth out any creases in your body, if you want to think of it like that. Okay, so relax, and then I tense the arm, the wrist by just clenching, but then I release it. Okay? There's going to be many points where we'll tell you, yeah, the exercise is going to have a little bit of energy and force, but you have to again release it. So for now, let's do three, two, and one. Very good. Very good. Feng Song, Sogong. Good. Breathe in. Draw fresh chi into the Bai Hui. Lead it down the red mai into your Sanjiao, into the triple burners, your three bowls. And you can point the fingers down, let them travel through the meridian lines. Bend the knees. Slowly realign. Come back up. Good. Very good. Okay, we're going to move through the arms. So now we're going to here. Your hands can be at the height of your heart. They don't have to be high. In fact, I recommend against that. Have hands about the height of your heart. And like a red vine candy or Twizzlers or a candy cane, if you think about it that way, we're going to do something we did earlier where we were looking over the shoulders and going over the hips. This time, your waist is going to turn with it, and the waist propels one arm with the hand up, and now as it turns, it twists from the center, and the other hand turns up as the other hand turns over, so the thumb is out, the thumb is up on this one. So, and here's an important thing too: don't go so far that your knees distort. So you only really need to turn your waist, the hips stay forward. So that ball in the socket analogy, really important as we talk about this class. So turn, look to the right, turn, look to the left. From a martial standpoint, coiling is important. We can study this very well. The force of a punch when you add in coiling multiplies it by a factor of at least 7. Can also get to 9 depending on your training. But very powerful technique. From a health standpoint, the coiling also is using again those connectors or tendons and ligaments in the fascia network. and making sure that those are supple and those can move. So that's the health aspect that we're going to focus on. If you're interested in martial, we can talk about that, but we're going to start with your health because that's the most important fight in your life, the quality of your life that you're going to live. I mean, self-defense is important too, but so we'll add that in here and there. But for now, let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Relax the arms. We'll do more of those in the future, but for now, relax the arms. Have your hands in front and relaxing from the shoulders and the elbows. Draw the elbows in and rotate the wrists and your fingers out. So it's like you're making a swimming motion, like you're in a swimming pool and you're kind of uh, like beating the waters, like the propeller of a boat or like the um, tail of a kite through the wind. You can imagine again any tension, you want to let that out. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep the elbows pointed down. The elbows kind of move outwards, especially if you do the bigger version, which is fine. But I'm going to let you choose to do small or big. For those who've been with us longer, you know what I mean. For those who are new, just focus on just relaxing the elbows down. Make the circle small. It's okay. Any tension, especially if you work with like a keyboard for your job or if you do any physical labor, your wrists and your forearms might get tense. So just let them go, relax. And this doesn't have to be high. I have my hands even down here for the small ones. It's okay. For now, do 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to reverse it. The elbow's going to go out and the hands rotate inwards. So you can see my hands make this almost like a circle motion. And this is a small version. Big version would look like that. But I'll let you choose whether you're doing small or big for those who've been with us more than one semester. For now, relax the elbows. Main thing is to go at a pace that doesn't raise your heart rate. And that's true for all of these exercises. And the way I say that is that you can gauge if you can still talk and if you can still kind of like hum a little tune to yourself, that's a pretty good pace. It means it's borrowing from actually my old cross country and track days. That's how you know your heart rate is sustainable. Doesn't mean that everybody should start talking, but on your own practice, if you can like hum or sing a tune to yourself while you're practicing without losing the beat or without straining yourself, that means you're at a pace that's good for you. So more on that thought later, but for now, relax and let's go 3, 2, and 1. And I promise as we get through the semester, my expositions will get less and less, so don't worry. But as you can see, I can talk while doing those. It means that the pace is good. I don't feel my heart racing, and that comes from a study on medical Tai Chi that's in Harvard from Harvard Medicine. So more on that topic later. But for now, have your hands in front. We're going to work on some dexterity exercise to work on your grip strength. And your hands are also important because your fingers have channels that go through them. They relate to your radian organs. Some people say, "Oh, the organs relate to each finger." Yes and no. It is correct, but there's much more than just your organs. Your thumb, and actually, I found this out finally. I knew what they were. I just didn't know which one they were. Now I know. Your thumb relates to your respiratory. It's your lungs. Your meridian channels go through your thumb, go to your lungs. Your pointer finger is your large intestines. Okay. The middle finger is your, I think it's called your pericardial. It's your heart. It's your circulation, your blood. The ring finger, that one is your Sandel or triple burners, and it relates to again those bowls I said that go through your torso. Okay, and also the last one, the pinky, small intestines. Also, this is all a combination of your circulation, your blood, lymphatic system that goes through the neck, connects with all these things, but also your um, digestion. So your blood, your oxygen, and elimination and eating. Okay, so all these flows are important for you. So as we do these exercises, don't think of them just, oh, I'm just doing my hands. Yes, on one layer, but the other layer also helping exercise the fascia network and the joints that connect to those fingers. So for now, you have your hands closed. Open the hands and close the hands. Open the hands, close the hands. From a practical standpoint, also super important, you want to offset arthritis. You want to work on dexterity strength. Bodybuilders and weightlifters, powerlifters will say you're only as strong as your grip strength. But when I get to 110 years old, goodness, hopefully I do, I want to make sure I can still hold a teacup, right? Well, these exercises are important for that. And that's the most important strength marker, in my opinion. Good. 3, 2, One. Good. Next one, we're doing three exercises, by the way. We're going to close the fingers and open. If anybody's familiar with the eagle claw, they will also do similar exercises because, again, it's practical. It's how you train your grip strength. But for health, oftentimes overlooked because they think, oh, you will train your hands. Oh, yeah, it's not a problem. I don't have problems with hands yet. And also, we want to make sure that your hands, everything, it's part of your body. And it's the end of those meridian points I mentioned. So we want to make sure those are nice and healthy. Close the hands and let's do three, two, one. Now, closing the full hands, open halfway. Close. So feel the palms and knuckles, the inside of your hands. Okay. Your Foucault is your tiger mouth, where your thumb and your pointer finger connect. Can you feel that? Can you feel, again, the Logan point, the center of your palms? Okay. There's a whole bunch of massage points if you ever go for acupuncture or massage on your hands for a very good reason. Because again, those channels I mentioned connect here. All right, three, two, one. Shake those out because again, we don't want to tense that out. Relax it out. And of course, as we finish the upper body, we're gonna still go. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and out. Very good. So if anybody here has like cold hands, or if you know someone who has cold hands and you want to help them with that, these are exercises that are good. You might feel again your hands are warm or they kind of tingly, which is not bad. It means your chi's flowing. Your blood's carrying oxygen to those points of your body. Take those hands, put them to your kidney points, give those a rub. Very good exercise, even in and of itself. This is massaging your Dai Mai. Dai Mai is your belt meridian. Your life chi is stored there. It's literally where your belt line is, where your back of your torso goes to the front. These points are massage entry points. You expend your life chi just living, doing work, interacting with people, even just like being awake and walking around. You expend life chi to a certain degree. We're having fun, but and you don't want to deplete it, but you can cultivate it and you can gather it. So let's go to the front and I'll show you the two. Rub the front of your daimai. So your hands are going to make contact with your stomach and your lower abdomens. And gently push and pull, raking fresh chi across the front of your daimai. You gain back like chi by eating, which I love to do. Food is good. So eat good food, you get fresh chi. Also sleeping. So I know it's a difficult thing. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know I'm not the best at it. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting good enough sleep? It's I see some smiles there. I know some people are like, yes, I had to work on that. It's true. You cultivate your life chi by getting enough quality sleep. So think about that. And also, of course, just by doing exercises like this, certain exercises help cultivate and nourish and gather chi from your environment. So if you're here with us on this call or you're joining on the recordings later, excellent. You're already doing really well in that step too. So don't worry about the other two if you haven't. But there's always way to change for the new year, right? But for now, have your hands at your sternum. Keeping your hips and knees forwards. We're going to gently crack our back. So don't go so hard that you feel like you're throwing your back out, of course. But we're going to do 3 sets, 2 repetitions on each side. So I turn twice on the right side, twice on the left. Have your hands at your sternum, knees and feet forwards, as I said, and do a turn 1, 2, 1, 2. Ah, there we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. For me, it's always my left side. I always feel that pop but just enough. Ah, very good. And that should be enough for now. If you need to do more than that, you probably see a chiropractor. But you should feel it nice and limber, which is an important thing. Again, the difference between weakening or strengthening joints. Now we're going to rotate the whole entirety of your pelvic girdle, which again, the dantian. So you can rotate around. Now my hips still face forwards through this exercise. Because again, you don't want to distort your knees. You don't want to run the risk of eventually weakening those joints. But doing this, again, moving the torso, letting the flow that goes through the lower body out. Because I'll say it, I always say it every semester, at least once, but it's so true. 3 treasures in life. You eat well, you sleep well, you poop well. If you can do those things when you're 110, that's a life that's well lived. So making sure that this is nice and supple, but also that this help is nice and flowing is good. So let's do 3, two, one more, and then let's go the other direction if you have not done so already. As I promised, in time, the exposition will get less. So just day one, day two. For those who are joining us or tuning in for the first time, you know, I just want to make sure you have those understandings there and ask questions if you have questions. Rotate around. Again, think about that ball in that socket. The hips are your socket. The ball is the waist as it rotates around. Good. And again, let's do three, two, one. Now, I'm gonna show you this. See this ball here? Think of that as my waist. This is my hip. So this should be able to move independent with the hips staying where they are. Okay, it's rotating. Now we're gonna do the next movement, which is the same one, but it's smaller. So just focus on the inside of your dantian. You can relax the arms. You can have them on your hips. Either's fine. But I'm gonna move just the inside of the waist, and I will feel my hips, perhaps my quads, moving up and down. Some people have told me they think they're imagine that they yin yang symbol. They're writing it with like their belly button. Some people say from the crown of the head, like a plumb line that goes down. Anybody who does like architecture or knows what that term is, there's a little like pendulum that goes down and it's swirling around. Whichever helps you visualize that is good. But just focus your attention. Rotate just the inside, and like you're almost like again like those organs that are mentioned are moving your large intestine, your small intestine, your colon, your bladder, your stomach, all those things just again release down, and that's so important. Um, like I'm unashamed of saying this thing. So, people sometimes like the worst like experiences like have constipation or gas, and we want to make sure that these exercises we give these to you because they might help. They might help. Good. Let's do three, two, one, and let's go the other direction. Rotate the other way, small circle. But on a funner note, if you do like dance, like samba or salsa, I personally love like ballroom waltz and dance. I wish I was better at it, but these same movers, I see some smiles. Hey, that's a win in my book. I made people some crack some smiles there. The same movements that are there also good for dance. And I've seen an MMA fighter watch an MMA fight. They did the same exercise. The guy kind of moved his waist around. He did a big circle, did a small circle. I was like, yes, this guy gets it because you generate martial force from your torso. You generate force from your dantian. That's why. And from a martial standpoint, this is important. Okay, three, two, one. All right, now we did horizontal, we're gonna do vertical. So to help, I'm gonna do what's called the big circle qigong site, or called this is taking a snippet from Dali Gong. Okay? So it's combining. We do a Chansa Gong, but we also add in snippets of Feng Gong, which is to relax. Like working at relaxing. Go figure. That's the terminology. Or Dali Gong, which is big circle qigong. So for this one, I'm going to relax, and my center is going to rotate forwards. But as it does, it draws the arms up. They extend out and down as I bend and come down. Now, if you can't bend all the way, don't worry. The most important thing is not what you're doing with your arms. Arms are just indicative of what's happening inside. Remember how I talked about those, like a tail of a kite? Or like a tail of a cat. I have a cat, so she's runs around. She's actually outside running around. But uh, as you move, uh, the arms express what's happening inside, like an exhaust valve or like a pipe on a car. I'm drawing fresh energy up through my channels and then out through the hands. But this movement isn't so much an arm exercise. It's not even a leg exercise. It's again, drawing from the center, your dantian, as it rotates up. And if you've been with us for several semesters or several years, you might again feel like warming. And I feel like kind of a warming and a cooling effect, or kind of a staticky kind of buzzing that kind of flows up from my legs, through the kidney points, up over the shoulders, out the fingertips, back down the inside of my palms, through the elbows, and returns back to my standing position through the front of the face, through my esophagus, lungs, stomach, and knees into the daimai. If you don't feel that, it's okay. Our brain tunes these sensations out because it'd be too much to handle. We know this from psychology. Your brain will ignore certain sensors just so that to avoid an overload of information. But at the same time, don't you think that if there's something wrong in your body that you should feel it? Sometimes people do, and it's too late. The onset of cancer, for example, and it's a very sensitive topic, but let's be real. If you could, wouldn't you want to know there's something wrong with your body beforehand? Well, that's what we're training you to do. Does the flow of your body feel good? Can you feel your kidneys? Can you feel your liver, your chest, in your side, it's your heart and your stomach? How do they feel? Tai Chi Qigong, Qigong for that matter, is about sensing those things. So let's do three, two, and one. Good. Let's go the other direction. So I'm going to drop the dantian. It's going to circle backwards this time. So it's coming down and around. My yi, my intention, is going to draw everything through that point because your yi, your intention, precedes your chi or your energy. As you focus on something, that's where your energy goes. So my yi goes over the top of my head, down past my shoulders, into the kidney points, and I settle my palms through my hands. I'm going to point downwards, let the fingers relax because it lets the flow of your blood, for one thing, go through the arms, but also lets the blood, which carries your chi, get to all those points of those hands. So up and down. All right, take your time, settle the palms, relax the wrists. So as I said, these exercises, if you get to a good point of which you can really tune into your body, that is proper Qigong. Qigong, literally, is working with your life energy, or they will say breath. All translations of that are good enough to understand the impetus, which is your Qigong working. And this is one of the parts of our class that we really want to stress for even those who've been with us for a while. You can learn a form. You can learn martial practice. You can be a good performer. That's great. That's celebrated. We'll help you do that. But we want to make sure that your quality of your life is great to the best it can be. And if you wanted to do that for other people, like you're planning to teach, we got a lot of teachers who are in this class who are teach elsewhere. I fully acknowledge I'm in the company of many talented people who also sometimes just want to share with their family or friends. Wouldn't it be good to be able to take that and share it with someone that you love or your friend or that you want us to see live the best life they can? Hey, that's a win in my book. All right, let's do three, two, and one. Very good, very good, very good. Hong Song, Gong. We're wrapping up the last part, which is going to be your legs and your ankles and your feet. Draw Festi in. Get down the Renmai into your Sanjiao, down through all the channels. Slowly push up off the earth, lifting with your legs, not your back. Very good. Good. All right, we're going to now into the legs and the last part, as I said. This one, we're going to go into what some of you may call a bow stance. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. This is your explanation. Bow and arrow, for example, if you slice the bow in half, it kind of look like that. All right, bend the knees. For this one, I'm not going to say whether it's your front or forwards or back too much because you're actually going to be moving a little bit both directions. But I'm bent here, and see my line on my carpet? That's very deliberate how I set this camera up. I want to make sure that this knee doesn't go past that line. Yes, I'm flexible. Yes, I can do this. Yes, it doesn't hurt that bad. Same thing in time, though, that can wear out your joint. So make sure your knee doesn't go past the point of your toe. Now, rub that joint. Rub the knee. Rub the shins, the hamstring, your calves. There's all this, actually, by the way, those meridian lines, there's stomach ones. There's other some meridians that aren't in your hands that go through your feet to your legs. We want to make sure that those meridian lines are happy. So you have your digestions related to all your stomach, your lower intestines, all actually come through your legs. Now, you have your hands on your knees for support. You rotate around. Rotate around. So, from a martial standpoint, you don't really build very much muscle near your knees as a joint. So they're very likely to break or hurt. I know a number of people here have expressed to us before weak ankles or knees. Well, don't worry, you're in a good company. But we can help strengthen those tendons and ligaments. Make sure that you can continue to walk through up to 110 years old, later, hopefully. It's always going to be part of the marathon that is your health, not a race. So don't feel like you have to go fast. Let's do three, two, one. And I'm going to rotate the other direction. So other direction here. Same knee, just rotating the other way. So we can strengthen those tendons and ligaments. We can help you get better command and control. Or even if you're recovering from an injury, done in a way that's suitable for you, you can help restore, well, hopefully, some mobility back to those joints. All right, three, two, one. Very important for the next one. We're going to do some load bearing exercises. Remember how I talked about all those channels that run through that legs? Your stomach one is a very important one. I have to oftentimes get that worked because I get tension in my lower back as well. Well, guess where it comes from? It's actually your feet. So we want to make sure that those meridian lines are we're getting any creases out. So that's why we do this next one. That's actually the reasoning behind it. I don't know if people got that before, because sometimes even those who've been with us several semesters, you might not realize it. Or I actually learned some things too. So that's why we move forwards once and back, because you're letting your yang energy, essentially you're plumbing this channel, like like a toilet. I know it's kind of gross, but it's true. You're plumbing this channel. So go forwards twice. On the third one, you translate all your weight, almost like you could lift that leg. You don't have to, but you come forwards and you let all that weight. You breathe in, you breathe out, you relinquish down through that channels. Again, you're helping that yang energy go through those channels, and then come back. And now we're going to do the other side. So rub that knee, rub your hamstrings, your shins, your calves there. All right, and now let's go ahead and begin. So circle. Again, same thing. Use the radius of your toe to know how far at max you should go for long-term benefit. Yes, you will see people in martial arts, even Tai Chi competitions will go lower than that. Fine. It looks pretty. There's nothing wrong with that if you want to do competition. Sure, okay. But it's not necessary health. In fact, you want to go slower and smaller for your health in the long term. All right, three, two, one, and go the other direction. A small circle. Rotate. It doesn't matter which one we started because we're doing both sides. Um, so just take your time. Okay, three, two, one. And again, all the stomach channels, we're now going to pump some yang energy down through it. Let's go forwards once, come back. Twice, come back. Third time, hold, breathe in, breathe out. Come back. Very, very good. Very, very good. We're going to go into, actually, we're just going to go right into, and again, we'll show some more exercises in time. But for now, we're going to go into moving the entirety of the leg. So bring your energy over your left leg. I talked about yin and yang. Yang and yin and yang are another aspect of your five principles. We'll talk about those more. But all my energy, you can think of it like all your weight for now is over my left leg. So the right leg is empty. You can like lift up. Okay. I'm going to rotate from the crease, the claw, where your hip connects to the pelvic bone, rotate that open. And my ball of the foot still touches the ground, but it's light. There's barely any weight on it. It's like 5%. You think of it that way, perhaps. But you open up the leg, rotate that around without losing your balance, of course. Let all the channels, everything move and flex. Okay, good. Yeah, so three, two, one. All right, we're going to switch to the other side first. So bring your weight over to the right side. So you're yang now here, you're yin on your left. If you did the other way, it's okay. But just to illustrate the point, we're doing the other side now. Because again, we want to be symmetrical. So I'm rotating from the quad. So it's not so much that my knee is driving the movement. I want to feel my quad open up and close, open up and close. And that moves the leg around. So again, I oftentimes have some pain with my lower back. We're right near where my main Mingman is. I oftentimes arch my lower back. Some of you who may relate to that. It's because there might be some misalignments, or I might have something like that fascia network that's kind of overcompensating. It's pulling parts of the front. So we want to make sure that you flex those connectors. Where? To your feet. Actually, everything's connected. So if you suffer from like lower back pain or pain in your stomach or the hips or pelvis, make sure your legs and your feet can move freely. Okay. Three, two, one. But since everything's connected, and of course we're now going to do something to finish that up, we're going to open close the whole body as one unit. So like a clamshell or a hinge of a door or a spine of a book. I'm going to bring my weight over to the left side, and I'm going to open up. Everything opens and closes. Open and close. Open and close. Open and close. So again, everything's moving together. Very good. And let's do three. Yeah. Two. And one more. Right. Very good. Now, switch over. I'm going to be yang on my right side, yin on my left. And as I said before, breathe normally. But if you're doing this exercise slowly, you're taking a breath, you might find that it's pretty easy to fit in your breath with the movement, which is actually correct. Sometimes it's just easier to just like go again with the movement. This one is one of those exercises. So here, it's pretty easy for me at least to breathe in and breathe out as I close. And your breath can also be a good way to dictate how fast or how much you go. As my channels open up, I feel like a balloon that's expanding, and I feel it down to my fingertips and even my toes. As I close, I feel everything draw in. I feel almost like the suction coming into my heart, and that's drawing fresh chi back to your center, helping nourish your body. But maybe you feel like the ball, the top of your head, or the ball of the feet, because they're not just horizontal, but there's also vertical movement that's happening. So you open up and you close. Open and close. Good. We count us down to bring us back. Let's do three, two, and one. Very good. Very good. Relax. Hong Song. Again, you're recycling any stale excess chi out, drawing fresh breath chi in and out. Very good. Very good. And to bring us back, you can have your hands over your dantian here. And here, breathe in through the nose, tongue press against the roof of your mouth, because this is a channel that goes through the renmai center line that goes through your chin, down into the esophagus, down through your into your sanjiao, triple burners, which is your again your torso. You have your earth dantian, which is the lower part, the middle, or your astral, heart meridian, and then you have your pineal, which is the inside of your head, or the heavenly, spiritual, which is the top. So you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Tongue pressed against the roof of your mouth. Bend the knees slightly, keep your lower lumbar straight. Relax the shoulders. Breathe in. Breathe out. And any tension or stressors, if you're thinking about what's going on in the world or around you, just let it go. Know that it'll still be there after, but for now, making sure that you can handle it well. Breathe in. Go at it with an open mind, open heart, refreshed with the energy that you need to do to face it. As you breathe in, don't be afraid of the spaces between your breath. There's a spot between in breaths in and out. You can hold those for like a second or two, depending on your comfortability. If as long as it feels gentle, you're in a state of what we call wuji. Some would say that place between the breath, between your in and out breath, is a neutral state, hunyan, point of origin that you return back to. But load it only enough, just like 1 or 2 seconds, especially because you don't want it to stall your breath. But take your time. Don't be afraid of that, and know that's a point of neutrality that you can be aware of. And that's again helping cycle the chi through the body. Okay, breath in, breath out. And then take a long breath out. Be mindful of that moments between the breaths. Breathe in and out. Good. And to return us back to practice, relax. Feng Song. Songgong. Sogong. Draw the hands down. So that's a lot of movement. But to prepare us for next for the section which Sifu will lead us through, breathe in, cycle down. All right. Very good. Good. Very good. Hope that feels good. Hope that people are feeling nice and rejuvenated. Again, nice and limber, the joints going. Maybe it's a stressful world, stressful day, stressful week, or stressful start of the year, first month in. But you're here now, and it's going to be a good time. So, Sifu, you there? We're going to pass it over to you.
I'm working on it.
No worries. So hope that feels good though. So these exercises you can do, folks, to again on your own practice. We encourage as well, especially if you are here just for Zoom, make it part of your routine. Even if it's just like 1 minute a day, one section that we've done, it will have some benefit for you. Okay. Sifu?
Okay, so a couple of things to just kind of mention. Tai Chi does use um, how should I say, channels and meridians. We actually circulate energy through it. So that's kind of important to understand that the energy travels through your channels and meridians, but in order for the channels and meridians to connect, you have to connect your fascia. Without connecting your fascia, energy doesn't flow, nor do liquids transfer from one part of your body to the other. And so this was how should I say, done an experiment actually recently in Japan, where they're actually able to activate people's fascia to relieve their pain. And so it opens up a whole new way of dealing with pain. But the other thing was one of the conclusions of the study is that because this works, Tai Chi and yoga, that's what they do. They connect your fascia. So if you're wondering, why do our movements twist and turn? The twist and turn allow the fascia to actually connect, and then the energy can move through it. So keep in mind, whatever we do, there's a certain amount of twisting and turning that occurs, whether it be in your limbs or your body, everything has to turn. So that follows the Tai Chi principle of when one part of your body moves, everything moves. Having said that, that's not always the case. Okay, and we'll explain the exceptions, but that's kind of important to remember. And now, Mason talked about the Dantian. Remember, there is a difference in Chinese martial arts, or just martial arts. The Dantian is not the point below your navel. It is actually your core. Okay, so that's important to understand. The Dantian is a point that's below your navel, but it has nothing to do with martial arts. Okay, that's just an acupuncture point that we use. The actual Dantian point is actually inside your body. Okay, it's a point that connects through your head, through the bottom, the perineum, in the middle, and then the point that connects between the front, which is Dantian, the back, the Mingmen, where they cross inside your body, that is your actual Dantian. Okay. The energy that moves through there, however, is not related to your breath. So keep in mind that while we talk about breathing and powering your channels, that's only superficial. That's only one type of qi that Tai Chi uses. The other one is the one that we use internally. Uh, and the character is different. The qi that we breathe is the character for breath, which kind of looks like this. The other one looks like the word for sky, means something entirely different. Okay. That qi is the internal qi. And so eventually we want to learn to connect not just the superficial chi, but also to the actual internal chi. That's why it's called Neigong or internal practice. That is actually the real thing that we're trying to get to. But you need the two to kind of connect to each other. Okay, so
That one right there, I think it. Or
so
it's, I think.
to kind of get
Yeah. This character for Sky?
right. But the character for the other chi is backwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting character. But again, that just tells you that there's two different types of chi. Now, the exercise I'm going to do next, I introduced it last semester. We call it the flow. This I have to kind of credit Chester. He is the master of Phoenix Mountain Tai Chi, and he proposed this as an exercise. Now, it's similar to what I've been teaching, but what I've been teaching is from the outside in. This, however, is from the inside out. Okay? Outside in meaning what? I use energy to raise my arm, and I breathe in, or I breathe in. This is using my physical outside body to try and move the energy. We're not exactly doing that this time. So the purpose of this, however, keep in mind, you use the minimum amount of energy, try to connect to your own energy. So start with your hands on top of each other, in front of your dantian with your knees slightly bent. Now, the thing that I want you to do first is first tighten the upper body, then release it. Tighten the middle or your torso and release it. Tighten your lower legs and release it. At this point, you should feel everything kind of sinking toward the ground. Okay, that's what you want to do. Your knees should be slightly bent. You're going to give your legs a slight push. As you push up, you let the energy creep up your body and expand your hands outward, and then just let them relax. Everything sinks back, bend your legs, and then from the ground, push up again. Again, let the hands slowly spread. Now, you're not spreading your hands. You're trying to use that initial push from the bottom to power your arms. Do not try and use your muscle or your shoulder or your arms to make your arms spread because I'm not doing that. I'm actually just lightly pushing, and as the energy comes up from the ground, I try to spread it out to my hands. Okay, so you're trying to learn to use what? The energy from the ground that's going through your body to move your arms. And as I often talk to Mason about, you become only the person who's watching, your arms are moving by themselves. When you can do that, you've kind of reached one high level of meditation where you become merely the observer. Your body is doing the work. You're doing nothing. All right. So that's one. Number two, we're going to go in reverse now. In reverse, you're going to sink into the ground. You start with your hands in the same place. You're going to sink into the ground. But as you do that, you're going to allow your arms to come up over your head as high as you can get it. And now, try not to raise your shoulder too much. At this point, you're going to drop your arms. Just relax. And as you relax, feel your body float back up. Okay. As you're doing that now, the energy separates and goes in two directions, up and down at the same time. Again, we're circulating the energy inside the body, not along the surface. Okay, so this is different. It may look like Qigong that I've taught before, but the way we're doing it is actually different. Trying to activate the inside Qi, not the outside Qi. So again, you sink into the ground. Start with your hands here. Sink into the ground. Allow your arms to come up as you sink. So they only come up as high as you can sink. Don't try and raise your arm up. And then cross. And then now here. As you let them fall. So let the full weight, just so. As you relax, feel yourself float up. And suddenly you should feel energy coming out of the top of your head. Okay? Again, relax. Let's go very slowly. And as I said, do not use your arms. Each time you finish, you're straight. And then to begin, you have to song. So as you song, the arms come up and you drop down. And then as the arms drop down, you come up. So go slowly. So sink, arms up, arms come down, you come up. And if you want to breathe, you breathe in as you sink, breathe out as your arms drop. But the breath is not essential to this exercise, okay? But for now, you can couple it to your breath. And so that is also an interesting thing. In the beginning, you want your breath to couple with your movement. Eventually, when you get better, the breath and the movement does not need to be coupled. You merely think and the chi moves. But, that's a different step, one step at a time. So this is for the purpose, again, of trying to feel your internal chi. Okay, and we're not trying to use the outside to move it. Even though there is a little bit of outside movement here, you're trying to use as little of it as possible. All right, so those are two of the important flow exercises that we're going to be practicing. So when you have time, try it on your own. Again, the sensation should be you can feel the energy moving up and down. When you're doing this one, you should feel the energy coming up like a tree, spreading your arms apart. And then you just relax, sink everything back down, draw the energy from the ground, and then again, move your arms. Do not do this like the Yang Style Qigong that I've taught before. Remember the Yang Style Qigong, we did this, okay? This, I'm using my outside body to try and move my inside chi. We're not doing that. This is the opposite of trying to do that. So this requires you to open your chest, open your muscles, move your arms out, draw the chi in. Okay, that's a different process. This is not that process, even it looks simple, but it's not. Because the first thing you need to do is song. When you song, you connect to the ground, you draw the energy up, and you allow the energy to go through your body to spread your arms, and then here, you song. Sinking everything back into the ground and then draw it back up, spread your arms. It should be effortless, okay? If you feel yourself activating your shoulder muscles or your arms, or you feel yourself spreading it, you're doing it incorrectly. No physical use of your external body. The arms only move because of the energy from my legs, okay? And how far do they spread? Only as far as you can feel the energy. If you do this and the energy actually stopped already, then you've gone too far, okay? All right. So anyway, those are the two exercises I'll call flow 1 and flow 2. There's a flow 3, but we'll work on that one later. All right. So for now, that's all the Qigong we're going to do. I'm going to move on to the next part, which is we're going to be working on Ba Fa Woh Bu. Ba Fa Woh Bu utilizes the 8 energies of Tai Chi, the 5 different directions. Okay. We're going to work on the first part first, and that's the most important part. So start with your feet at shoulder width apart for right now. Okay. So we're going to be doing Ba Fa Woh Bu, just the first part, and we're not going to do all of it anyway. But we're going to work on the first 4 energies first. So with your feet at your side, the hands come up from your side with the palms facing each other. Now, at the same time, your body is going down. Now, from here, rotate. Now, this is your chansu. Stretch. Then imagine there's a curved surface here. Touch the curved surface with your fingers. Push down, push yourself back up. So doing it that way, you have actually already practiced the first four energies of Tai Chi. Peng, Lu, Ji, An. Right? Peng is to expand. Lu is to roll back or contract. Ji is to press in one point. An is to push. Okay, so those are the four basic energies. So let's try and practice that. So again, you raise up, palms face each other. So that's your Peng. Ji. Okay, you reach forward and press. Lu, rolling back. On, use your fingers, float yourself back up, and your body should now be straight. Okay. All right, let's follow Mason. We're going to do it 6 more times.
Yep. So relax the knees. As you go down with the bending the knees, hands come up. Right about the height of your heart is enough, but you extend the fingertips now. So that was Pong. This is G, or to press. Now, as you relax the elbows, imagine your arms like a vacuum cleaner. It's sucking the air in. That's your Lu. And then when you let your hands come down, it's like a roundedness. You don't just drop the arms, you push downwards, letting your fingers coast in your palms, then settle, wrists relax. That's when you return back to your Dongjing standing position and your Wuji state. Again, up. You expand. Out as you press. Relax the elbows as you draw in. Push down as you strain back up. Okay. So again, Peng, Ji, Lu, An. Beginning Tai Chi is arguably the most important movement in Tai Chi. And Tai Chi as a principle, not just an art, the idea of from nothingness, you then become something. From neutrality, you have polarity. That's what we call Tai Chi Chuan. Taking those principles, putting into the martial art. But everything, even external styles that have beginning Tai Chi, they may not realize it. They might not call it, but it's there. For us, as we finish up the last one here, come up, Hong, press G, draw in, lead to nothingness, emptiness, that's Lu, and press downwards, pushing as a downwards and outwards component as you return. Good. Beginning Tai Chi. Sibu, back to you.
So next, we are going to begin using the other four elements. Okay, so again, you're standing here, you beginning Tai Chi, you reached, you draw back, and we floated you up. Next, you raise your arm, your right arm, as you turn to the right. I call it inserting the sleeve. You're inserting your hand under the other one. Notice that my body is not straight. As I insert, the body turns. And this is important because in order for me to transfer the energy, I need to rotate my body. Okay. So Peng, you press down with this hand and then expand forward. So a couple of things to keep in mind. This is the hardest move to do actually correctly. Many people do it by inserting and then they raise the arm up. Okay. So you notice it came up from the bottom. That is not Peng. Okay. That's a lift. A Peng movement, this arm actually expands outward. Okay. So I don't know if you can see the difference. So from the side, it would, if you're lifting, it looks like this. You're lifting it up from the bottom, but it actually should expand outward. So you notice it expands outward from the heart point. Okay. So if you're doing it correctly, when you finish, this hand should be facing your heart. Okay. So that is Peng. That's the first one. Okay. So again, let's bring the hand back again. Palm coming forward. Relax again. Remember the turn of your body. This hand presses down as this one expands outward. And again, remember, do not lift the arm up. Okay. Again, insert and palm. Now the next movement is loop. So this hand turns to the corner. So you're blocking with this part of your arm. You roll over. This is for actually grabbing someone's arm and you pull them down. Okay. So again, we can go back, insert the arm again. Here's palm. Go up to the corner, loop, rolling back. Okay. Again, insert, palm, turn, loop. Okay. It's from the corner, from this corner, upper corner to the lower corner, as if you're pulling someone down. And then you reinsert your hand and we begin again. Palm, up, loop. Okay, now the next movement is G. The left arm circles back up and you just touch it. Okay. It is incorrect, well, not incorrect, but for competition, you will often see it done this way. Okay. Competition, that's okay. For energy work and actually for application, not quite optimal or correct. Okay. So you draw it down. My hand, the right hand does not go behind. It follows my hand back up. So the two hands come back up. And you notice the angle of my arm is at 45 degrees. It is not this way. This is the way most people have been taught. I spent some time with the Grandmaster at Yang Village. This is no. Actually, it has to be this way. This gives you the greatest amount of surface to actually apply your technique. And this hand has to touch your wrists. So this is G as you press forward. And now you can't keep pressing because you'll fall over. So you separate and now you do on. On is in two directions. First, you bring it back and push down. And from down, you come back, bring it back up and push forward. But do not circle forward because it's also common you see in wushu competitions that they press forward, they bring it all the way down, and they push up from the bottom. That is also not correct. You can't actually use it that way. Okay, it looks good though. All right, so let's do the whole thing now combined together. So again, you insert palm, okay. Turn to the corner, turn the hands over, Lu. Bottom hand comes up, G. And now G, the hands roll over and it dissolves. Now you bring the hands back, push down. From down position, push it forward. Okay, and then we do the other side. So let me have Mason take you through the whole sequence on both right and left side. Mason?
You got it. It was exciting times, folks. The Ba Fa Woh Bu is a very well-loved portion of our class as a core curriculum piece. And let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Oh, step out, about the shoulder width apart. And from here, beginning Tai Chi. We're going to do this right. Stand. Gong Song. Back to your neutral state as you do Peng Lu Jian, all in part of beginning Tai Chi. Raise the right arm. Insert the sleeve. Expand. Peng again. This time we're expressing the technicalities of it as a technique. Block as a setup. Transition into Lu. Roll back. And same thing as like Ziva said. Don't just think about the arms. Think about what you're expressing. Release through the elbows. Release through the feet even. Bring your hand, touch the wrist. G. And as you express, do you feel not just your forearms? Do you feel your Mingmen behind you? It's like an exhaust valve on a car, on a pipe. You must feel that connection. And in order to push, you must ground yourself before you exert yourself. Push down and then out. Now, keep your left arm up. The right arm's going to insert on the underneath on your left side. And we do Peng now from this side. Peng. Feel the connection from your hand to your logan point to your heart. Tanzhong. Lock, roll back. Lu. Touch the wrists. Ji. Press. Separate the hands as you press down. Push out. Very good. Okay. Well, let's do one more time. Insert the sleeve. Hung. Lu. Ji. On. So again, treating this more like a Neugong exercise versus Weidong Qigong. Think about what's happening inside. And you feel your lower back. You feel the your feet as expand as well. Not just your hands and the arms, which people end up just talking about. And you feel the top of your head, the heels, the back of your legs, your knees. And as you sink, is it just your arms or is your whole body in it? And as you push, can you still feel your center? Good. With that being said, Sifu, I know time is short, but day one, a lot of stuff, a lot of exposition for folks, but hopefully core things to set for the success of this semester, right, Sifu?
Correct. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, we are getting to the end of today's class. So I do hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, take the two flow exercises we taught today, try practicing them, see how you feel. As I said, the purpose of those two exercises are different from what I've taught before. Most of the Qigong I've taught before is from the outside in. Okay, that's normally how Tai Chi is taught. And so, even the Wushu Tai Chi, it is an example of extreme example of going from outside in, meaning you practice the form on the outside. Hopefully, someday you connect to your chi. The purpose of this class, however, because it's health and wellness, we want to connect to our chi now, not wait until 10 years from now. Okay. So these two exercises, and I'm not the only one practicing them right now, is from research and also from people on the internet who are very experienced in Tai Chi, exploring how can we make that transition from external to internal. And I have to kind of stress that as being important because there is no roadmap to do that. Okay, none of us were taught that way. And so if you can kind of understand, my teacher was Feng Jichan. No one in my generation can do what Feng can do. And that's because he actually has real internal power or had real internal power. We do not actually know how to do that. We were taught forms, and the hope is as you practice, someday you discover how to make that transition. That might take you 50 years. Okay. So that's too long. And also for health, we don't want to have to wait that long. Okay. So, yes, doing slow exercise forms can assist you in improving your health and flexibility, things like that. But it does not actually give you what the masters actually had in their last generation. And it's, um, there is no roadmap. They discovered it somehow. They could do things that none of us in this generation can do. The closest one, if you want to watch, have time on YouTube, please watch Phoenix Mountain Tai Chi. He is a master who can actually demonstrate the actual use of Tai Chi. He doesn't care who you are, okay, whether you're external or internal. He can use his art against you. He can even also demonstrate the proper use of chi in a weapon, which also most people cannot do. So it's more than about forms. Forms are important as a legacy for, how should I think to pass on the legacy of the art, but we have to get to what the essence of art. And so that's what we're trying to do. And hopefully, as we do that and you follow along with our journey, that you will be able to also discover. So please keep in mind, Mason, myself, my disciples, we are all trying to discover how to get there. Okay, so it's not like there's a roadmap. None of us have a roadmap. We're trying to find a way to do that. Okay, so what we're going to be teaching in class is a way to get there. Okay, the eventual thing, as I said, when you do Tai Chi, you are the observer. You're just observing your body moving. The energy is doing the work, not you, which is different from doing a form. And I'm physically moving my body. That's not the highest level of Tai Chi. It is an acceptable level, but it's not the highest level. And so for health, we have to get beyond just using our physical body, because your physical body deteriorates. The energy inside you does not. And so we're going to practice to try and learn to cultivate, learn to relax. All those things are physical, but again, trying to feel the energy inside is way more important. Okay, so that's the theory. Theory and practice go together. We have to kind of work on it together. The other thing is, while this vehicle is good for practice, keep in mind to get better at Tai Chi, you actually need to practice with someone. Okay. And Mason will tell you that how important it is to actually have someone to work with so you can feel the energy yourself. Okay. And you need one who's not just anybody. They actually have to know what's going on. They can project energy. You can learn to receive energy. Those things are part of the practice, and you can't do that by yourself. But we are introducing these exercises that I'm doing to try and help you learn to move your chi and to feel it. And that's really important. Yeah, you got a ruler there? Yeah. So, yes, the ruler is an important vehicle and I should say a Tai Chi accessory. We will talk more about that too. It is an important way also to connect to your chi.
Because we know that some of you aren't able to make it to in-person classes, which is fine. And we will put up opportunities to actually meet in person sometimes, even for the Zoom people. You're always welcome to come to Berkeley if you can make a couple of classes. It's okay, which is the beauty of what we give you to offer. So if you can, or if you're traveling from out of state to visit us, or from like LA, for example, to come up to Berkeley for some of you, you're always welcome in our doors. So the Zoom is just our way to be able to reach a bigger audience. But when you can't practice only, we will talk about how you could do what Sifu said with moving your chi, but we'll use a different supplement since you may not have someone to practice with. So we'll talk about this in the future. With that, you want to know more about it, come back and hang out with us and also Jack on Tuesday.
Yeah, the other thing I did want to announce, make sure people know, in February, like I haven't been teaching classes to the public for about 3, 4 years now. I am going to start teaching publicly again. And so at the Buchanan YMCA, we're going to be opening up hopefully in February. The classes are paid for, but the cool thing is you do not have to be a member of the Y. You do not have to be from San Francisco. It's open to everyone. And you don't have to be 65. So, but keep in mind, this is the only class I have that will be kind of like this because we'll be tackling things different from all my other classes. So, there are two classes I will be teaching. One I call Intermediate Tai Chi. We'll be teaching Sun Style Tai Chi in its full depth. Okay, not just uh, the basic form, but that will be important. We will be teaching a form you may use for either competition or actual practice for your internal well-being. So we'll be doing that. The second class will be called Neigong practice, okay, or Neigong martial arts. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet, but
Broader, bigger topics.
yeah, it will be including studying Xingyi and Bagua, not Tai Chi. Okay, there will not be any Tai Chi done there. Though the things that we're doing are related to Tai Chi because we will be doing Grandmaster Feng's Hun Yan, Xing Yi Quan. Hun Yan is as you know, the Grandmaster Feng's Tai Chi, but he also knew Xingyi and Bagua. So we will be studying those particular ways. Why different? He used to look at me and see me do 64 with Grandmaster Zhao, and he goes, "Nah, that's no good. That's gonna kill you. You keep practicing that way." He goes, "You need to use internal energy, not so much physical." So anyway, it will be a different way of doing Xingyi Quan. So you've seen Mason do his Xingyi. This is not his Xingyi. This is a little bit different. This is a
It's not traditional or even like, yeah. This is Shingi
quite different.
Qigong.
And the Bagua will do will be 64. That will also be different. Okay, it will not be. So that's anyway, some of the topics that we will be doing in those classes. And the classes, I believe, will be $5 each. Okay, so that's not bad. Yeah, but you do have to purchase a scan card. Scan card is good for 10 lessons. So you get the scan card, and when you come, you scan it. You don't even have to pay for all the classes. You come to you buy the scan card, come to the ones that you can. So
Yep.
you don't waste your money. Okay, so we're trying to make it accessible to the public, but also as a way of how should I say, allowing us to reopen the YMCA. So if you didn't realize, we closed the YMCA during COVID. It was firebombed, and we had to repair the building, which even though we used a lot of our insurance money, uh, after that, we didn't have any money left to do anything. So we actually sold all the equipment inside the Y, everything else that we could, to get enough money to renovate. And then most of the building is now offices, except for the gym. So we're gonna have access to the gym, which will be, quite good. So um, if you're interested, please, everyone is welcome. So, take this opportunity to teach and to learn with us. Okay. Anyway, that's some of the things coming up in the future. So I will let you know specifically when we're ready to go. All right. Anyway, Mason, any final comments?
No, that's it. If you have any further questions, let us know. Stick around if you do. We'd love to mingle for those who wanted to stick around and post some questions. We'd be happy to answer those. But until then, make a fist with the right hand, left hand covers. All right. Very
Okay.
good to see you all. Great practice, everybody.
Thank you, Sifu. Thank you, Mason.